And just like that, it's time for our weekly roundup of all the things Lady just ain't gonna do this week. Number 1, full moon eclipse, Mercury in retrograde, and of all places, in Gemini. Well, my friends, it is certainly an intense time in astrology this week, as we have a whole bunch of whammies. The full moon eclipse happened this week, and a blood moon, which is all woo-woo speak for lots and lots of energy and emotions moving all around. And Mercury is about to go into retrograde May 29th and will last all the way to the summer solstice on June 22nd. Now, Lady knows she'd been talking about a hot girl summer, but I wasn't expecting it to be this hot. Mercury in retrograde is generally feared, but it really shouldn't be. Yes, it can be tricky with lapses in all your best-made plans, but basically, it's a time to take your time. Don't make any agreements or don't sign any contracts. Look closely at the details and pay attention to communication of all types. My meditation for this Mercury in retrograde is to stay hydrated, mind my business, and clear my space for abundance. Oh yeah, and not to pop off on nobody, although literally in my mind this week alone, so many people can catch these hands. But in real life, just trying to keep it calm, cool, and collected, starting right after the rest of this roundup. Things Lady ain't gonna do this week, the real cancel culture trying to cancel critical race studies. So across the country, the party of no way, no how, no plans, no proposals has organized themselves. Not to make sure that people are recovering from the pandemic that was partially people-made, not to make sure that people have healthcare or jobs or housing, but instead to make sure that you no longer learn in school that race is a real thing that people made up to keep power in the hands of a few at the expense of the many. These motherfuckers are literally passing laws in state houses across the country that read like this one, especially fucking dumb, out of the great state of Oklahoma. It bans teaching lessons that would cause discomfort, guilt, anguish, or psychological distress because of a person's race or sex, and also bans universities from requiring trainings on race and gender diversity. Signed, y'all, by the governor, Kevin Stitt. File this, please, under white folks being fragile as fuck. Here's a thought. Instead of banning lessons about what this fucked up country has done to all of us, how about we learn from it by actually studying it so we can stop doing stupid shit, including passing laws like this? It's just apparent here that instead of dealing with real problems, lawmakers from the party of no plan, no proposals, no way, no how, create fake problems to distract you from the fact that they're not solving real ones. So much for that reckoning on race that everyone was talking about this week. Oh, and just to say it and have it be said, we should be uncomfortable. We should be guilty. We should be anguished, and we should have psychological distress from the shit this country has done. We absolutely should. But bigger than that, loves, Lady has been saying for a hot ass minute that we are in the midst of a culture war, where some folks want to take us all the way back to a time when people like me weren't considered to be more than 3/5 of a human being, passing more laws that encourage more mediocrity, and Lady most definitely do not like that. Other things Lady just ain't gonna do this week, crabs in a barrel mentalities, especially when one is trying to get justice. This is going to be an uncomfortable conversation for some, but I'm going to say it because I have to. This week's press conference with some of the family members of George Floyd, along with their legal team, especially attorney Ben Crump, it left a funky taste in Lady's mouth. There was a not-so-veiled swipe at Asian Americans in the form of, and I quote, "There have been other bills passed in the last 3 months protecting different groups of people. This group of people needs to be protected too. And this started a long time ago. There were some things that started a lot sooner and got protected a lot faster." This was a statement by attorney Justin Miller, and I call this onk logic. I'm sorry, but what a bunch of fucking bullshit. Embarrassing, if you ask me. Oppression Olympics is not a good look, sir. Ever. Way to make a press conference that was supposed to be about pushing Congress to pass a piece of legislation that frankly will not protect Black people, but that's another story. But way to make a press conference about passing a bill that could tinker with policing and data collection. Way to make it about your weird anti-Asian bullshit. I just get so tired, y'all. Nobody should get choked out by the police or shot up by white supremacists. It's actually not that fucking hard. And if you don't know how to put a period at the end of that sentence, sir, please don't step up to the mic and ruin it for the rest of us who have some good goddamn sense. Anywho, here's what we want more of this week. Number 1, Lady loves slowly emerging back into the world. This week, Lady visited what used to be her home away from home, New York City, which you can hear in the background, which is slowly coming back to life. It's been a year, y'all, and some change since I've been in this city. And before this pandemic hit, people used to ask me why I didn't just get an apartment in New York City, because I was literally here at least twice a month for the better part of 2 or 3 years. Coming back here reminds me that we are never going back to the way things were. I'm never again going to be compelled to fly 4 hours for a 2-hour meeting because somebody can't figure out a remote option. But what Lady is loving this week is the re-emergence. I can say that in my lifetime, I saw a city that never sleeps actually go to sleep a little earlier these days, but still, there is no place like this one. New York City, you still got my heart, and thank you for having me back again. I have missed you, and I will definitely be back, God willing. Other things Lady loves this week, well, I think I love it. I don't know. I'm also sad, but this week my sister, my friend, my homegirl, and hand grenade, Patrisse Cullors, announced that she is stepping down from leadership of the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation. Patrisse and Opal and I started the Black Lives Matter Global Network in 2013, and I believe the foundation came along sometime in 2017. Opal and I have gone on to build our own projects, always fellow travelers and supporters of our sister Patrisse. Sis, I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of you for all the ways in which you have stepped up for us, fearlessly and courageously and doggedly. I'm proud of you for how much grace you have, even when people didn't earn that grace and didn't give it back to you. I'm proud of you for everything that you've built. I'm proud of you for all the ways in which you give to us all, and I'm especially proud that you've decided to follow your heart and dive into what makes your heart sing, making the community that raised you better and stronger. I love you so, so much, Sugar, and I cannot wait to see what these next 10 years have to offer. Congratulations, and I'm proud to be your sister.